this is at the trailhead that is in Newcastle. And from there, we spent 2 days in Newcastle walking toward our destination. We all look so fresh, ready to go at that point. Oh! A little inside joke there. There's some Angelo there. Let me come back to these.
There's Jesse.
Oh, Jesse there.
There's Jane. Well, there's so many of these, I suppose you guys want to know what they are. Let me come back to those snippets. Now here's David after,
You
I
know,
believe
you
this is on the
knew I
second
was wanting to find that. Yeah.
This is at the end of the second day, and many of our trails, I should say, this started out as a scholarly adventure.
And ended up there.
We frequently ended up getting our social history from locals. So we would meet many locals at such places. The trail would often end up in local brew. Now this to you may look like a low tavern, but it is not. It is a fine dining establishment with comfortable sleeping arrangements. So we, all along the way, I can say we were all surprised, or pleasantly surprised. It was, you walked all day, and instead of having to pack in your lunch like the Appalachian Trail, you end up here, and you get a hot meal and a clean bed.
Did you make reservations at all these different stops?
All these stops, we paid a company to do that for us.
Transfer our luggage.
Oh, okay.
We would carry a day pack, as you see David here in his hiking gear. We carry our daily essentials, but all of our other things were trekked by a professional trekking company.
It was well lit every day.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Now, all along the way, the trail.
I can't see for the podium there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You
Okay.
need to move that
You
over
can't
the
see.
corner.
Oh, this one has wheels on. This gives you some idea of the trail itself. As we walk, our hike beginning in Newcastle, headed west, the trail sort of undulates a bit. So this part of the trail is generally sort of rolling and flat. And you often have nice views such as this. So you got these rural areas, but then you can see the development along the trail, which I think was great for the group. You know, you really got to see England in a way you're not going to see in a bus or a coach. So you get to experience the landscape in a way that, as for historians, you get a sense of the history of the community. As you can see, now this is actually Newcastle in the hotel where we began our journey. There's Angelo, and there's our other student. This is Sabrina. And of course, Jana, another great hiker. I have a good story to tell you about her near the end of the Now, all along the way, as I said, you can see the other picture had us in a nice countryside on the trail. But the trails also take you into urban centers and urban life, which we thoroughly enjoyed as well. So we all got to experience the sort of old, these are not exactly medieval, but some are, but old churches and along the way.
Just taking another look at that, Matthew, is that church built from stones from the wall?
That one is probably not.
No, the church in
That's in
Bonus
Newcastle.
was built from stones from the wall.
And there was a lot of that along the way.
That's
Refinished stone. Now, this was, we spent some time too getting around. We didn't walk all the time. Here's David and of course Tammy. We all know Tammy, and I believe this was on the first day of the walk. We actually ended up in Newcastle, but we had to go east before we could go west. And we ended up, they put us, you were asking about where we stay. So you call this company that plans and does all of our bookings. And you end up staying in a variety of places where they're not exactly, point A to B. This one we had to travel back out to the coast. So we all got a chance to dip our foot in the, not the Irish Sea, the North Sea, yes.
North Sea.
And the Irish Sea in there.
We went from the North Sea to the Irish Sea. And here is, there's me and there's David, and at this point we can see we're in our group of hikers. There's Kendall, Jesse, but you can see this has happened frequently along the trail where David would say, Matt, get this out of my pack. There, David has a map, but David, I think I'm probably picking out a different map. David's very meticulous about some things, and this is a very good thing. He had maps printed out and laminated. Remember that, guys, and the numbers on the maps, and David said, I've got the wrong number, Matt, get in my pack, find this number. So we did a lot of this along the way. Surprisingly, this trail is not as straightforward as you would think.
Especially when you're in the middle of the city and there are not many markers.
So oftentimes we would find ourselves thinking, uh-oh, we missed something.
And every once in a while we get it.
But this turned out to be a learning opportunity as well.
Is that Whitley Bay? Where is that?
That does look like Whitley Bay.
Yeah, that's Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Angelo clearly took.
That's when we had visited the museum and were trying to figure out how to get down to the river and pick up the trail itself.
Oh,
Notice
okay.
it's pretty cool. We're all kind of bundled up a bit. There's the trailhead. Okay, let me come back into some of these. Okay, you guys probably want to see some prettier bush nook is where David Peace, okay. Oh, this is in London.
Those are my photos. Or maybe not.
David stuck
you,
in the
man.
States.
Carlisle.
That's Carlisle, yeah.
Yeah, I want to go back.
That's the one, that's made
That's the
of.
one that was built from.
That's at the end of the trail.
Yes.
That's, let me show you guys.
St. Michael's, I think, is the name of the church.
Yeah,
That was built by the.
with the
They
stone
took
from
they took
the
wall.
wall.
They took stones from the walls.
This is a good, so these are some published by Tammy. Okay, so this is from the train getting to Newcastle. And we saw a lot of yellow. And so this is an opportunity for our students and the people on the trail, as I said, to experience the countryside. So I think for a lot of people, you're really surprised at how rural Britain is. I think we have an image of Britain being completely overcrowded, but it's surprisingly rural. And we
Does
saw
anybody know
many
what that
farms.
yellow is?
Of
course. Nope,
No.
that is rapeseed.
Rapeseed oils.
You use it all
Canola,
floors.
if you're American.
Yeah, that's what's used for that. It's also used for industrial purposes.
This is a fairly common scene of, not the landscape, but of Kendall. Kendall
Notice
powered
he's way
ahead.
ahead of everybody else.
And there's the rest. I think there's somebody collapsed right there. But this trail, this is when you really start to see the wall. For the first 2 days, you really don't see Hadrian's Wall. This is what's left of it. This is a significant portion. You can see the thickness of it and the large stone. And much of the trail is, ideally, you walk along the wall. And the trail follows the wall. But there's not much wall in some places, most places.
So how tall was the wall when it was done, when it
12
They
feet,
estimate, yeah.
was 12 feet?
about
so
12
6
feet.
feet deep, 12 feet high, 84 miles long. And they built it in 4 years. So Mr. Trump, get busy.
Get busy. Now, also, but it's not just the wall. You think of Hadrian's Wall, but Hadrian's Wall is also populated by these it's an active archaeological site as well. And you see these archaeological sites where, again, students and professors are working constantly and unearthing great artifacts, analyzing them, studying them. These places are like small forts, and they're all along the way. And some are more impressive than others. But
Is that Vindolanda?
Vindolanda, but I can remember the hills here.
Yeah, that's a small town that the Romans built, not on the wall, but about 2 or 3 miles behind it, which was one of their major trading centers. There, you know, you have the wall, but then back, 2 or 3 miles behind the wall, you have a road that runs parallel that will be for commerce primarily, and so that was one of the towns on the road.
Many people, if you want to do the wall yourself, if you go, this is where a lot of like people who live in Britain, they may, instead of walking the whole wall, you might just take a weekend and they'll go to Vindolanda and they look at some of the best of the wall. This is near to show you some of the best of the wall. I think, I don't know, Jesse may disagree, but if you can see Jane here, you do get areas like this. And to Vindolanda, what you saw, Vindolanda is about 2 miles south of this picture. And you can see the trail where Jane is. She has her walking poles, but follow that stone path all the way here. And you walk along this wall, and then you come up this way. And it goes along up here. You can see the wall. There up here at the top is some of the wall. And you think, why in the world would they build a wall on top of that great big cliff? These are the kind of things that historians have to ask. Why would you expend all that human energy? Is that not a natural defense in and of itself?
Yeah, but you can see.
So these are things that historians debate. They don't really know, other than maybe, is it for aesthetic purposes, to finish the look, to project Roman power to the barbarians? Or is it also to prevent an attack from behind? We don't know. There's various other features of the wall other than the wall.
Yeah, every mile along there, they would build a small fort to house a small garrison of troops like that.
Like this.
Mile forts.
Notice that these things are utterly just accessible. You can just walk along it and touch them. There's gates here, and there's sheep that go in here. You know, if this was, I think, in the United States, they would have this thing fenced off. You can't walk here. But one thing I enjoyed about the hike, and I think the students and everyone else did, was it's very hands-on.
How many, approximately how many miles a day do you go on?
Anywhere from about, the shortest days were about 6 to 7, and the long day we had about 19, 17.
That's a lot, that's a lot.
Yeah, but the problem is the 16 or 17 mile day was probably easier than the 6 or 7 mile day.
Terrain.
No, it's just, terrain.
Right.
To those crooks there,
Yeah.
there's Kendall.
This gives you some examples. Some of the parts of the trail were very steep. I don't know if before we left, I don't know that I told people that.
That's coming out of Sycamore.
Rolling hills in the countryside.
Yes.
Oh, there's a computer that were rolling up.
You would meet people on the trail. These were Brits raising money for veterans. And so they were dressed in period.
Cancer.
Cancer.
Yeah.
They were dressed in period, and they walk along in time. They were walking the wall in full gear,
Yeah, it's all world.
full military gear. I think one of them took a shine to,
One guy
Canada.
let me hold his rifle that was like 40 pounds. It's like the enemy's like,
You would meet people along the way. You know, you'd see them in the morning, then you'd see them later in the day because we're all sort of walking together at different paces. It was
We
cool
met that
that
one
day.
guy that was trying to do it, what, 3 days?
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I walked with him for a little while, from Holland. 3.5 days, yes.
Abbey Bridge, man.
Jenna, that's one of your.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
Janice
meeting
Grant.
That was the,
what was her name?
Susan, I think, or is it Cheryl?
We did not want for company and refreshment.
She
so-
just reminds me so much, she looks like my one cousin a lot.
Where is that?
That is.
That's
Is that the Indian
Indian.
restaurant?
So we would often spend our days walking, we didn't see each other. So how this trip worked was, you got to experience it on your own. But often at the end of the day, we were together and we would have meals and refreshments. And it was kind of a nice time to kind of come together and share our experiences of the day. So you're not locked on a bus, you know. You got to experience history and the culture kind of on your own terms. Lots of selfies, we had the best food, didn't we, guys?
Got that Indian restaurant that you just showed.
Have we seen? Excellent.
Yeah, that was one of the best Indian.
Yeah. I was thinking it was gonna be like a
Oh, we're not
Big
bad.
Mac burger.
I told you I wanted to get to,
Go to the Flickr page and get
what page?
the Flickr page.
Oh, help me with that.
Didn't you set up a Flickr?
I
Oh,
don't
no,
have
the
a
photo, the other one.
Shutterfly.
The Shutterfly.
Shutterfly.
They all run together.
Some of those were off on my Flickr page, so I don't know.
Or do whatever you want, I just bossed you.
No.
Actually, there is a MOOC course from the University of Newcastle on this. What, has it started yet? Then
It starts next month.
next
Yeah, it
month.
starts
Okay.
about 2 weeks, I think, November
Oh, really?
7th, I think.
It's free. You can take the course. It's eight weeks, if I remember correctly.
Six.
Or six,
6
yeah.
weeks.
Now, our plan is, as Jesse said, the Shutterfly is, we are going to,
Blue Angel.
way to go, Jane, look at 230. Our idea is that we're gonna put together a photo album and provide, and let the college have this. 'Cause
I was trying to take this and put it in order because it's out of order. Because some of the pictures were borrowed from other people in June, so they have the wrong date on them. And so I can't figure a way to get them in order.
Maybe you have to,
So you can see some good examples.
I think
of
that's
all
the
in
highest
there.
point there that the.
Now, right here, this is a good one, yeah.
I think
That's
that's the top, the highest one in the wall. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yep, that's
And the
it.
wind was really
Right.
blowing that day.
Yeah, that's one thing for about 3 or 4 days, we really got hammered by wind.
Now, Jane wore that scarf and coat every day. Every day she was freezing. Remember? Now, the highest point is probably not as high as you might think. I believe was about 800 meters, which is roughly, what,
500
maybe,
feet.
if that, yeah, about 2,500 feet. So,
I don't even think it's that high.
but look at this vast landscape. It's very rural, and if you really get caught in the weather, you can find yourself in trouble. I mean, you know, British Special Forces train in these areas, so they're exposed, and if you're not prepared, you can get cold really fast. And these are like sheep gates, because again, this is a working farm, rural area, and so you'll have areas such as this that are open to livestock.
see any pictures of the sheep?
I know.
Where are all the sheep?
I have pictures of sheep. They're-
It's,
Did you
it's
see
not the
any
sheep that
cow?
bothered, it wasn't the sheep that bothered me. It was the fact that times that you would walk for 100 yards on nothing but sheep. I'm serious, you couldn't avoid it.
Yeah, it was
I
slippery
did.
stuff.
I
Did you tiptoe the whole way?
You saw my sandals, my feet were clean at the end of the day.
We saw some white sheep with black faces, and that
Livestock.
was a black on a white face.
So again, you can see these pictures of cows, sheep. You're walking and going through rural working farms.
There's Jane and Bonus.
And this is, so we ended up in London on the last day.
I love that sign on the train.
I have an audio recording of the lady saying it.
Yeah.
but- I think of
phones.
Your ecstasy.
Hope's
Hope's
Dreams
Dreams
are
are
goldfish. Somebody had a good sense of
Was that in the train?
That was, yeah, that was on the
Yeah, that was
train
on the
from
train.
Carlisle to.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I want to see if Jane, if you got the picture of the group at the beginning. This is at the museum.
Oh, yeah, it's on, I've got that on
Millennium
somewhere.
Bridge.
And that horse down at the bottom was standing there, and it almost looked ghostly. It was real kind of foggy around.
I remember that said,
And it looked
yeah.
like a ghost.
I remember I was with you on this part of the trail. But you see the wide variety of landscape and history, so urban, rural, suburbs.
Clay pots.
But actually,
This is a farm that's sitting right on top of an ancient Roman fort. So a lot of this, you're right up next to the livestock. It was lambing season too, so a lot of activity.
There's gorse on the left.
Gorse,
of course.
Yep, that's gorse.
not rapes.
And a veil.
That's a good, yeah, right here, you see this ditch, there's where the stick is. And you can see up here, there's some lambs. This is also part of the Roman fortification, the vallum, which is a deep ditch, and then the wall. So Hadrian's Wall is not just a wall, it's also ditches and castles. It's quite an extensive Roman fortification. About like us, how we see Confederate trenches somewhere that have been around, for 150 years, but this has been around for over 2,000. And you can still see, it's still very impressive. Its size, its scope. Yeah, again, you can see rural, so some of the trail goes over as bridges.
I don't,
The red one.
oh, yeah.
And then there's an owl beside it.
Yeah.
Here.
Those were knitted things, and we even met the lady who did them.
Yarn bombs.
Yeah.
Yarn bombs, yeah.
And that was one thing that David and I wanted everybody to really get into, was the fact that you really are getting deep into the local culture, as opposed to, we're not just in, like here's at the beginning of the Trail of Newcastle, the city of Newcastle. This is Sagednum, which is an excavated Roman fort. So it's not just these manicured professional sites like this. It's also, hey, there's yarn balls in the tree. It was. I noticed that, Jan, you were very abstemious in this trip, so we don't have pictures of here. Oh, here we are, being very professional. You see.
Oh, yeah.
Here's where professors offer lectures of intense historical importance.
Well, can I expand on that?
Yes, please.
This is where you put the level on your
Oh, right there,
phone
yes.
on the wall. And then I have a photo of it, 2,000 years later, that stone is still level. That was gonna be part of my engineering, my history of engineering lecture this fall, but I didn't teach that class, but anyway.
That was near yes.
That was, yeah.
Oh, okay, here we go. So we're,
Back to Bushwick.
this is Bushnook. And I think of all the places we stayed, I think this was the consensus
Oh, yeah.
that this was our favorite. We sat in this sunroom here, and of course, I think you take this picture from the hot tub, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was probably in the hot tub.
There's something we probably
In the hot
needed that
tub,
day.
And we have a picture of Malcolm.
Sore muscles. Oh, somebody does.
I
Well,
had,
I'm
yeah,
sure there's plenty in there somewhere.
Malcolm was our host, and Actually, Mr. Jenny, because his wife Jenny was in.
Well, I'll go back and show you some of these, when we were looking at these. We had a lovely time there about playing games. And I believe the game was we'd get a topic, and then we had to draw something from the topic. So, is that right, Jesse? Is that-
Yeah. So one person would select the topic. These pictures are from the plane version of that, the airplane version of that game. But one person would select a topic, and then everybody would write down on a piece of paper a subtopic, like a specific noun or whatever that related to the broad topic. And then on the flip, then those pieces of paper would be randomly distributed back to everybody else. And you'd get somebody else's piece of paper and you'd try to draw what they had named on the other side. And then there was judging at the end, and it was hilarious.
Yeah. What made it, so I'm just showing you, talking about this, it was fun, but the point was, again, meeting locals, and we met a fellow there that was so taken with our group, that Derek.
Derek, yeah,
And Derek was an older English gentleman who was vacationing.
just turned 80.
Just turned 80, and he just joined in, and he had the biggest laugh. What did he say? He said,
He was a widower, he was revisiting places where he and his wife had gone when they were, when she was living, and he said he hadn't laughed so hard in like 10 years, if not the 90s now, so I don't remember exactly.
and he's still in touch with members of the group. He emails occasionally, and he was really taken with everybody in the group. And sort of building international relationships. That's also part of it's part of these kind of
Retired
trips.
from IBM,
Yeah.
and he
But
said,
building goodwill, you know, and which I think is always an important thing to do in any international trip. I'll just conclude then. We ended our trip in London, and oh, you probably guys want to see what the end of the trail looks like.
Oh, yeah.
That's the end of the trip.
There you go.
there it is, the very end of the trail.
There is a picture in my stuff of the North Sea too.
You end up, and you can get stamps for this. You end up at these booths. All in all, it was what, 7 days on the trail, and I think it was a 10-day trip or 11-day trip. That's really all I had, David. I need to get to. I've got to get to class.
Oh, just Sycamore Gap.
Oh, Sycamore Gap, show it. There you go.
That's one of the most famous sections of the wall.
I'm sure many of you have seen that before, if you've ever seen the movie Robin Hood. Did you ever see Robin Hood? Kevin Costner version?
Yeah.
That's where they're hanging Will Scarlet from the tree at the very beginning.
Really?
Yep.
And we're all taking pictures of David there.
Yeah, we were
Was that
laughing
you? That's
because
you. And then-
one of the people that we met there said,
You don't
yes,
know where Jane is, she's got.
Robin Hood was, Kevin Costner's Robin Hood was truly amazing. He landed in the south of England on one day, and the next day he had made it all the way to Sycamore Gap. Fast horse.
That's one of the scariest drop that.
Oh, coming through that area,
Yeah,
yes.
coming
There's
through
a
that
different
area,
view up
that's the
there.
scariest,
Yes. Oh, that is quite a.
See, from here to here.
yeah.
It's
There's
not the
another
going,
trail.
it's not the going up is a problem.
You guys can
It's
see.
going down.
There's the easy trail, or you can take this path up, which is up. There.
Yeah. It's almost, what, a 45-degree rise, I think?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
It
It's not
wouldn't
the
be so
go-
bad, I wouldn't do it on a wet day.
It's not going up is the problem.
It's coming back down.
It's coming
It's the
down.
coming back down.
Coming down,
Yeah,
that's more
each
You can
difficult.
go on your backside and just slide it down.
There's North Sea up there at the top of the left, second one. No.
Yep.
Here.
That one?
Oh, that's the North Sea. Pretty
That's a
cold.
That's a Whitley
Yeah,
Gully.
when-
They're walking in it.
You just don't go there. I mean, we really had to walk.
There are steps going down.
It's cold too, isn't it?
It is cold.
Oh, look, he's here.
Hey. Don't believe me.
Well, Dan, can
Oh,
I,
she made it.
Okay.
We'll talk about you.
Well,
Let's
I've
just.
got, I've got some. Just sign out everything, Dave.
Should I just get on TV?
James, is this yours?
Yeah.
It's a pretty good overview.
Not in order, I wish I could get them in order, but.
Where's Matt? I want a second opinion.
Well, just to
We'll just do it as a slideshow.
And
That's-
that's just going out of the city.
Yeah, this is Newcastle.
That's the
This is
river
around,
time.
when you go to Walls End, which is a city. How do you pronounce that? Say it.
say the
Say good
Yeah,
dinner.
the ford.
Yeah.
And you walk along, and this is probably the least thrilling part of the walk. You walk alongside the road. Along that, that's Matt. Tammy, is that you on the right?
Could be,
Yeah.
looks like it, yeah. That's the Newcastle,
That
Newcastle.
is the Newcastle.
That is the Newcastle and Newcastle.
What's the difference?
What's that?
That's the castle.
That's the
the
castle.
new-
That's the
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
That's the new castle.
Okay, gotcha.
And we-
And the Black Gate at Newcastle.
That's the
There's some,
bridge.
that's a good shot of the bridges that cross the Tyne
Tyne
River right
River.
there. The tall one is the Victoria Bridge, which was built about 1850. It's the big railroad bridge. This little bridge here is one of the more fascinating bridges in that when the big ships come through, it rotates up on its side to form an arch so the ships can pass underneath it. And we had somewhere in our pictures, we have a photograph of us along that.
That should be no.
That's the first part of the wall that we see at Fort Sagadoo. That's another picture of the fort. You get an idea, this is probably a garrison for about 500 or 600 people. This is yeah, it's pretty crowded to say the least.
And that was under what, a parking lot for
Years,
years,
yeah.
Years and years.
And you can see the outline of the wall here. If you look where the arrow is tracing, and then it would go up through here, back around, and then come back down. Built in 122, or started in 122. And there's Juville doing a close inspection of one of the buildings. That is the background. There's the North Sea. Everybody Bay. Did all of us get a picture of that?
Yep, it's cool.
I've got a photograph. That was, we were walking through town going from the fortress to the museum for Newcastle, which has tremendous amount, and all of us, I think, saw that, was like, wow, that's cool. That's a really cool photograph. And then this is inside the museum, I take it. Some of the pottery that was found there. This is to Mithra. He was a Persian guy originally, but the Romans liked him because it was his religion was sort of a warrior cult. And so there's actually a temple to Mithra that we ran across water on about the third or fourth day as we were walking. Very popular with the soldiers. There's one of our bridges. Now we're finally out on the trail in the countryside. And like you said, like Matt was saying, it's very undulating through there. Our first part where you really start seeing the trail itself is a little town called Heading on the Wall. Until then, you really don't see the wall. But right there, you get to it, and you're in Hadrian's Wall country all of a sudden. And that's the very beginning of it. I think all of us have got pictures laying, sitting, draped across it, whatever. You know what that was?
We couldn't figure out what it was. Whether it was a cooking area or whatever. I just like the giveaway. Oh, and there's our acorn.
Ah, the acorn, this
The
was our
acorn.
guide sign. You followed the acorn and the arrow. That was the signal that, you know, like the Appalachian Trail, it's got the white blaze. This is
Our trail marker.
the trail marker for Hadrian's Wall. Unfortunately, though, you see there are other national trails that come across Hadrian's Wall, and in places you will see acorns for different trails pointing different directions at the same spot. It's like, which one do we use? Lots of gates. And there's the rape seed.
I would give them.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Oh, it is beautiful countryside.
And I still say the pictures don't do it justice.
Just one of the places we stay.
Oh, that is
No.
No, that was just a place along the way. And that was in that, was it Robin?
Robin Hood, the Robin Hood Inn, where we stopped for lunch one night.
Okay.
Burning Peak.
Yep.
There it is.
Ah, there it is, rather than bar and restaurant. God, that was out in the middle of nowhere.
It was.
I mean, that was one of those days where you walked 7 or 8 miles, you came to this, and it was like another 6 or 7 miles till
And you
it
could,
was something
And
else.
there's the box with the acorn on it where we got our stamp.
oh,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, that was one of the places we did stamp.
Yeah, that's
our little-
second place, I think.
Kissing Gate.
Kissing gates, yeah, y'all know how kissing gates work, right? Now, you open
Step in.
the gate, you push it open, it'll go only so far. You open, you step in, you close the gate behind you, and then you can step on through. It can't be open. I mean, it will always be closed in both.
Right, it doesn't let any blind spots or anything.
That's the whole purpose. The other thing we ran across, I love the kissing gates, they were no problem. It was the blasted stiles that I
The
hated.
styles.
Oh, where you have to literally step up over the fence, step back down.
Oh, yeah.
And after you've done that 20 or 30 times in a day,
Yeah, that's the day that did me in.
oh, they will beat your knees up.
Keep my back up.
Oh yes, there's everybody's favorite cows. We had to walk right through the middle of that herd. It was not, they were not going to move. They were just, okay, we're here, you will go through us.
their field.
It was their field. Yes, and we got up close and personal.
Yeah, they,
I've got a good picture of you, Bill, coming through. Flying as a cow. And the sheep everywhere. There's a style.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
wow,
these
that's
are-
a short one.
Well, you step up here, then you step, can you see the arrow? You got the first step up here, then another step, then up to this step, then you repeat the process coming down the other side.
Wow.
And the bad thing is, sometimes there are things to hold on to up at the top, and other times you balance yourself. So don't slip. There's that pretty horse. Sheep.
Get all the sheep down
Is
to
that
the
one
other
of the
field.
Vallum?
There's the gorse we were looking at earlier in the valley. There's another one. See, this is one of the better ones. It's got a handhold at the top.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
go through it, and then,
Yeah.
then you go like 10 feet, and then there's another one.
Yep.
I mean, that was the day, and that's, you can't see really, there's no one in there to see.
That's your kissing gate.
Heaven filled.
We ran
Leaves
across the
assured the gate
newlyweds
is
that were
changed.
kissing at all the kissing gates.
So you can see how this works, because what you do is you push it open, and it goes up against this, stops, you step in over here, then you swing the gate back, and that allows you to go through. Very ingenious system. And Heavenfield was the old church. There's an old church up here by the tree. There's Kendall walking up toward it. And the church was literally built, the church was what, 1500, 1400, 1500 when it's built. It's built from the stones taken from the wall. There you go. Notice how those stones are all nice and regular? That was how you could tell.
That's cool. And I can't remember that, I can picture the little place, this little place that had all the beautiful gardens. I can't remember the name.
Oh, was that the Abbey? Was that
That
the
one,
Abbey?
yeah.
Right. She had pretty gardens there at the Abbey. but I don't know.
This is at the place, what was the name of the,
Bottle Sits Inn, I think.
it was
this
our third night
Yeah.
on the trail.
Mhm.
Well, it's the night, first
Yeah,
night
that's
after we
Bottle
were
Sits
walking.
Inn, and then I think from there we went to,
Because we ended up walking down, remember they ferried us from Heavenfield over?
Right.
Oh, that's at Heavenfield. Oh, that's right, that's where the chairs were, where we stayed near Heavenfield. That's right.
Yeah. And they had beautiful gardens.
This is just some-
There's our bus
Yeah,
stop.
went by it. No, that was just some place.
Now you start seeing some of the little Ford areas and stuff. And you get an idea of, they built the wall right on top of the cliff edge. They didn't need to build a vallum over on this side, obviously.
Massive building.
There's one of the mile forts.
It's my favorite place.
That's where y'all went, ice cream.
What is the name of that? This is one of the, it's one of the big forts.
Says museum on front of it.
The, on the left-hand side,
What?
how do you
Borough
pronounce
Victim?
that?
Yeah. Do what?
It's something on the front, on the left-hand side,
Right there.
how do you pronounce that?
Halstead's.
Halstead.
Halstead's Fort. Yeah, I mean, what you don't see is this is just a little bitty museum, but the whole hillside, which is probably as big as this campus, was nothing but, this was a major Roman fort right in here. And this is in part of the wall that section they call the crags, which that's where you start going up and down, and 6 or 7 miles seems like 20.
I think this is before the Sycamore Gap.
Oh yeah, this is well before Sycamore. So you get an idea of what it's like going up and down through here. There's some of your reenactors right in front of you. But through this section, you see the wall almost all the time. There's Sycamore Gap.
That is Sycamore Gap.
Right. Sycamore Gap disappeared.
And that drop is very, very
Yes.
scary.
Come back. This is when Jane and Matt
Sit down.
decided to go crazy and go up that hill. I took this path down through here.
Oh, I think we did the easy part, the easy
Oh, that would have been Kendall up there.
That's,
Yeah,
yeah, it was
that's
Kendall,
Kendall.
Jane, Matt, and Angelo all decided, we're gonna go up the big hill. And it's like, bye.
Smart man.
Yes, my knees were definitely, I mean, look, he's here. This is the bottom, and it's probably not 100 yards
Yeah.
straight out.
And I think that's twice brewed in the back, they're way over.
That's
like
twice
that.
brewed
That's
right
true,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's where we spent a night at. It's in the town of Once Brewed.
That's in White Castle.
Yeah, that's where we're coming off, we've come off and getting ready to go into, we're getting ready to go into, there's Twice Brewed down below. Why is it doing this? So this would be the next day as we're getting ready to hike out, start up that the next morning. Yeah, those are the 2 days that were absolutely beautiful in terms of scenery, but wow. Get back on the path, and you can see what we've got to start off next day. Can you see the hill straight up? That's where we're going. And then you get up there and it levels out and you get to that. There's our Twice Brewed. Sheepscade. And then back down another hill. You will see some of us using walking sticks. Mine saved me twice, and one of them is on this hill here where my foot slipped. And I had a bruise in my chest where the knob of the hiking stick caught my full weight, which was better than going downhill.
Been a nice roll.
No,
Angelo's good at checking his map. I didn't even have to get my map back. I just went by his.
Oh, yeah. And that's part of, all this stone that you've seen quarried here, this is the old quarry. It's filled with water, that's where they quarried all the stone from this section. So they use local stone.
Not back then.
All Phil's quarry. I missed that. Was that in the parking lot where we were waiting to go to Bush Nook?
That was
I
midpoint.
took that picture for Bob.
Okay.
That was actually, that's a little, you could rent that
Oh, I didn't.
and go around. And I took that to tell Bob he could have gone.
I could have gone, if I had one of those, I'd have gone.
You gotta remember how to drive on the wrong side of the road.
That's easy.
That's all time.
All depends on how fast you throw it going, which side of the road you're on.
Like I said, the countryside through here is just, well, absolutely stunning.
Try closing that window and then opening it back up.
Could be, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
do this rather than slideshow. They won't allow me to do that.
All right, there's the bush.
So you go into Bush Nook. That was the place where we had all the fun. the best lamb. What was it? Cottage?
Shepherd's
Shepherd's
pie.
Shepherd's
pie.
pie. Oh.
And remember, he had to throw that together because nobody told him we were supposed to, we were gonna be
Yeah, and he
there.
threw it together, and there's the hot tub. It was out back. And we had dinner, I guess it was in here that we had dinner.
That's the day after Bush Nut.
Yeah.
That was my
Oh, that was
favorite
a
day.
neat
I
bridge.
love that bridge.
That was the river earthing, I think.
Oh, these are my pictures.
It's been the
Or we all
land
took
that,
the same picture.
this has been the land of it.
Yep. Yeah, that's
That
at
was the
museum.
museum of the town that was right off. And once again, friendly neighbors.
More livestock.
Oh, God, I remember going
I
through
like
that
walking down
stretch.
in that little thing. There I think I'm fixing Tammy's shoe, is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
So my
That's
shoe had blown
why-
out,
after
yeah.
we stopped there, you know, the place was closed, but we stopped at San Diego.
Yeah, we were hoping to eat lunch there, so that was a disappointment.
They did have a portalette that actually flushed.
Which
That was the
comes
high
in.
point of the day for me.
You might be surprised how important considerations like that become.
It was for the construction workers, but,
It did the job.
oh, and that's the folly. It's an octagonal structure in the middle of a field that does nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just build it for the fun of it. They do a lot of that. There are places where you'll go see castles that date back, little miniature castles that date back 150 years. Some rich guy just wanted to build a castle.
Was that your view?
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's the only day I was able to keep up with Jane because she's.
The yard bombs.
The iron bombs.
I found yard bombs when I went to Germany afterwards too.
Are they doing it here?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Knitters are gonna knit.
Knitters gonna knit, yeah. There's actually some folks talking about yarn bombing the little square in Bedford for April.
One of the fun people.
I thought that was a neat looking sheep, since we'd seen all white with black faces.
Yeah, you saw plenty blackface, but you didn't see many black sheep.
And that was,
Oh, yeah,
Snack in a
honesty
box.
box. There were snacks and drinks, and you just, it's tell how much you prepared to pay, and you just plop your money in and take what you needed. Those 2 bottles of water were very, very nice. By decree of the Emperor Hadrian.
I had to have a picture of the traffic going the wrong way. And that, I love that bush,
Is that what it said?
because it was a peach color, and I'd never seen the peach color.
that
Yeah, they
Is
had some
that-
azalea, yeah,
Yeah,
three azaleas there that were blooming that
Well, I
were different
think
colors
this
than what we
was,
did.
Rhododendron.
Rhododendron.
Yeah, it does.
Peach rhododendron.
Oh, there are places over there, Chatsworth House, which is in the Midlands, that have got these rows of rhododendron. And rhododendron and azaleas, if you like those, they were all in flower. Pink, peach, orange, bright orange, yellows, you name it, they had them.
Oh, that was in that park.
Oh, there's your fire. Yeah, 1932 bridge. That was when they updated the bridge, was in 32.
Where's this?
This is
on the
Carlisle.
train station, isn't that?
That's a
Yeah, that's a train station.
Yeah,
And
hotel.
our hotel is
And our
to the left.
hotel, isn't that our hotel over
That's
here?
it, yeah, we stayed in the hotel, we did rooms.
Yeah, there was, Carlisle was one of those places I wasn't looking forward to when we got there, and it was just like, it's not a bad little city,
Yeah.
except you can get lost very easily. Very easily.
Apparently the rest of you got one.
What?
I think that's the story about this hotel.
And then they were walking along the flat road.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that is.
Jesse,
oh,
it's your gals.
Yeah, so I had been, so Javille and Jane had been walking on top of an embankment, but it was so rocky that it, it was just, it was tiresome. So I went back down and walked on the road, but then after we had walked a couple of miles, I don't know how many miles we had walked, 3 or 4 maybe, I had a nature call, and so Jane found a spot for me on the other side of the embankment, so I walked across the road and the cows all followed me. And then I went down below the embankment and I'm surrounded by a bunch of steers and they're all watching me. It was the most public bathroom break I think I've ever had.
Well, they were blocking for you.
They love
They came from across the road.
And they were stopping traffic too, all this traffic that was it was really funny. Oh, and that's the kissing gate to nowhere.
That had no fence.
There was,
So we walked through it just because.
that was
It's
one of
there.
the last kissing gates we went through too. And there's Gorse, of course. And then I looked up what that thing was, and then I lost it. I can't remember. But it was
This guy,
breakwater.
I didn't get a picture of the guy, but somebody else did. And they put, he would ask you where you're from, and he would put how many miles away that is. So it's Virginia, 3,635 miles.
And he was asking for modest donations, and it was just a way to pay for his pub tab for the night. That was his retirement plan.
And somebody was asking, why is there rope? Do you see the rope?
Oh, no, that's not on that one.
It's not
Isn't
that
the one that's at the
The
very
one at
end?
the other end.
Yeah, I
okay,
was
yeah.
at, Kendall and I had walked down there after dinner to the very end of the wall, right there on the,
Oh, and that's the last little
Last
passageway
end of bonus.
to get to the,
Kendall was like, well, why does it say Rome, 1,180 miles?
Oh, what is that?
That's where they dropped us off, remember? King Edward.
Oh, is that
Edward.
King Edward? See, I have
Yeah.
a picture of him with his sword up in the air. I didn't see the sword.
Yeah. Remember everything right.
That's a big
Your
part of our
buddies,
life.
I think these are the ones that I uploaded that were from June, so they are kind of at the end. They
And
all
on the other
just
side of
go right
that
along
tree
with
is
us.
me.
Lots of cows.
No, is this,
That's the
Bern
subway.
Oswald?
No, Drumrock.
Drumrock.
And over to the left, that is the saddest castle you will ever see. It just looks like a regular house.
Which one?
Right, up, the big triangular thing, oh, there, that's
Chimney
it.
Park.
That's supposed to be a castle, and it's, just looks like a farmhouse. That's the castle of Drumrock.
Now, can you imagine driving on that road with
And that's
buses
another
and heavy
view.
trucks coming back and forth
Lady
towards
Mary
you?
would have been very disappointed.
There's your kissing gate.
We liked it.
That was right after we crossed the highway, right? And that was just at the last section.
Okay, so.
We've got a couple of sunsets, I think, in there that, What did you say that was?
Breakwater, that's not the right thing now.
Yeah, I kept the water from coming in too hard on
Oh, WC.
The banks.
That's the end
She
of it.
made the wall.
the closing, right?
That's true.
Most people begin there.
Yeah, it's true that most people go the opposite way that we did, I think.
I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much going the opposite way.
I don't think so. And that picture definitely does not do that sense
Oh,
justice.
that was awesome.
Oh, that was gorgeous.
Bill, you look,
Oh, I took
you look
that.
like that.
I remember that. I'm looking fresh.
The promenade, that's what it was.
See, we need to get these pictures back in order,
Oh,
because
now
that was the
there's-
sign that headed down that alleyway.
There's the one that says.
Oh, that's
Rome.
Yeah, I have a picture of me with Kendall there, I think, and then when we walked down there after dinner, he's like, why does it say Rome?
Why does it say anything, Kendall?
Yeah, that's the little,
That's the church, I think.
tiny, tiny little church.
Yeah, I got some pictures inside of there.
Did you really?
One of the parishioners was there when I came by.
Oh, wow.
She was going to visit her husband's gravesite, that she let me in. The ladies were working on their needle-pointed new altar cushions, and they were all working on, they had their,
The altar guild.
yeah, they had their little thing, not cushion, kneeler cushions. But they had their needle point.
I don't remember if they told us what was the oldest grave in there.
Church was 700 years old.
Yeah.
And
700 years. That must be London.
yeah, London.
Yeah.
Tower Bridge.
That's on the train.
Favorite sign.
Did y'all go on the eye at all?
We did.
Yeah, Bill and I went on the eye.
Houses in Harlem. That's a relic, that was not there the first time I read it. That's the
And if it wasn't for
Wellington
that, I
Arch.
would have never, that arch, I would never have found my way back to the hotel at night.
The Wellington Arch.
Mhm.
Iceland.
That's
Iceland.
Iceland.
More sheep.
And one of the tiniest airports that you will ever want to.
Oh, there we are. We're at,
There we
that's
are.
us before Berta's wall.
Yeah. You can tell who the cold natured people are in the crowd. She never wore anything other than, Sabrina, I don't think I ever saw Sabrina in anything other than a t-shirt.
Sweatshirt.
Sweatshirt,
Yeah.
okay.
And jeans.
Yeah. Hello, Chief.
And that gives you an idea.
Okay, yeah.
Why Jesse hates
That's the one
that.
coming down, that's the one I avoided.
Yeah.
This is
Because
the
you had
one-
to sit down on the rocks to.
That's on the other side of Sycamore Gap.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
Again,
that-
you can
is that-
see
is that,
Twice Brood.
Is that Twice Brood down there?
That's Twiceburg right there.
Yeah.
And again, you can see the fort.
Little Mile Castle.
Mile castles. Yep. And that's where he met the German general. Because one of the reenactors that picked him up, he had walked with him, but he was dressed as a high-ranking German officer of some sort. That's Angelo, our spiritual guide. He had a shell that he hung out, a seashell that hung on the back of his pack because he had walked,
El Camino.
it was the
Camino.
Camino de Santiago,
Yeah.
which was 250, 300 miles.
No, it's 500 miles, took you 28 days.
28 days, 500 miles. You're walking from the coast of France all the way to Santiago,
Santiago de Compostela.
Santiago de Compostela in northwest Spain. Most people only do the last 100 kilometers. Okay. Abbey Bridge, stop there. Any questions? Y'all ready to do it again next year?
Sure, sure.
Different.
I've talked to a lot
Different
of people
trail.
who want to.
I'm still trying to figure out which one I want to do next.